Welcome back to the BDTV Breakfast Show. This is the Big Story segment, where we delve into the issues shaping Nigeria's political and economic landscape. This morning, we set the stage for 2025 by putting Nigerian politics in perspective for the new year. With critical off-cycle elections scheduled, talks of a potential opposition merger gaining momentum, and questions surrounding the future of INEC as Professor Mahmood Yakubu's tenure draws to an end. 2025 promises to be a pivotal year. What does all of this mean for the country's democracy and governance? To help us unpack these pressing issues, we're joined by Iniobon Iwok. He is a political analyst and a keen observer of the Nigerian political terrain. Ini, welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning. Good to be here.
How are you feeling today?
I'm fine.
Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.
Right, so we're talking about we're trying to unpack Nigeria's political landscape for 2025, and then we'll just get into it very quickly. On opposition merger, there have been increasing talks about a possible merger among the opposition parties against the ruling party APC, especially against those who contested and had attained some level of confident results in the last election. So, what are the key factors that could make or break this alliance?
Well, thank you very much. I think in recent time, in the last few months, the opposition political actors have begun to realize how significant an alliance will be against the APC. If you look at what happened at the 2023 general election, a lot of people believe that the opposition candidates, Peter Obi, Atiku, and the rest, we have 18 political parties in Nigeria, and maybe only 2 or 3 are competitive. The rest are just a platform where politicians used to trade. A lot of people believe that it was easy for APC to win in that election because the opposition, other major opposition candidates, they were divided. They couldn't come together. They had come together to unite and present a common front. You look at Kwankwaso won Kano State. Peter Obi won some about, I think, 4 states also. Atiku Atiku came to the second election. A lot of people believe that if this they came together, they are together and presented by Atiku or Peter Obi as a candidate, they will probably challenge Tinubu to maybe they will have emerged victorious. So they are realizing against 2027. People have actually told them, and it is true. The opposition will be deceived. Opposition candidate will be deceiving themselves if they think they can stand alone again and defeat Tinubu in 2027. It's not possible. I think except they got deceiving themselves, some political leaders have told them that it is high time people come together. I think Show-Me, the PDP chieftain, said it several times. Even Yusuf Liman, the APC, former APC leader, APC chieftain, said it also. They should come together and form an alliance. Unfortunately, during the last week, we heard Kwankwaso speak. Peter Obi also spoke that they have not been able to come together to agree. And that is the fear of analysts like us. That's a fear among some people, because these people, some of them they tend to deceive themselves that they are not sincere. They think maybe they can go, if they stand alone, they can win the election. We saw Kwankwaso said nothing like that. He said that him and Atiku have not agreed on anything. Peter Obi also said nothing maybe they are still discussing, but it is sure that if they repeat the same mistake that they did in 2023 election, to want to pretend that they can defeat APC by going solo, the 3 of them, they are just lying. They can't win. They can't defeat APC.
And it's interesting that you talk about we're talking about this right now, because as you said, these people have come out to say to create some form of confidence boast in their own abilities, right? The NNPP have come out to say, well, we are establishing major offices in all the 36 states. We're confident in our own strength for 2027. And Peter Obi has also come out to debunk the rumors, the spread that there's going to be a possible merger between the APC and PDP. What do you think? Now, you have said that the merger is one of, if not the only choice right now. What is this riding on? What have we learned? Why are we so confident in this? What have we learned from past examples, like the APC in 2013, that assures us, or assures you of a win in case of a merger in 2027?
I think if you look at Nigerian political situation, let's not deceive ourselves. Some people will say in other clients we have in the US, in the UK, we have two major parties. In UK, for example, we have the Labour Party and the Conservative. In the US, we have Democrats and the Republicans. These are dominant parties. But we also have smaller parties. In the UK, we have the Green Party, which gained significant support in the last election for a long term. They had a lot of votes. So in Nigeria, looking at the Second Republic, Babangida tried to create a two-party system, which he funded. If you look at the kind of the political parties that we have now, we have 18 of them. Winning election in Nigeria, to compete and win election in Nigeria is far different from when you compete. I think because of the lack of maturity of the voters here, the consciousness, the education is not require a lot of things. For you to win election, to contest election and win Nigeria, it requires so much resources. So if you are not in power, or if you don't have that funds, Nigeria political system are monetized. If you don't have that power, if you are not in power, if you don't have that resources, you may not be able to compete with the ruling party. So 18 political parties we have, but a lot of them, most of them don't have offices across the 36 states. I'm in Lagos here. I don't know which other party, apart from the PDP and APC, maybe one or two, that is really doing anything. I can't see their offices.
So structure is a problem.
They don't have the structure. They don't have the structure. They don't have the national spread. So when you don't exist at the grassroots, how do you now win election now? You don't have offices. There's nobody canvassing for you. People don't know. People only know your newspaper on the social media. Parties don't exist at the grassroots. It's only PDP, APC, and maybe Labour Party that are existing. And this one says they don't. After election, they go into oblivion. You don't see them again. So, for you to compete with the kind of politics that we play here in Nigeria, parties need to come together. The 18 parties, remove APC, 17 other parties need to come together, pull resources together, agree on a candidate, and that was what the APC did in 2015, the Grand Alliance. Major leaders in PDP also put to join APC, also put to join the party. AFGA, some other smaller parties.
That's true.
They came together. They found that they were able to defeat the PDP. That is what we need in 2027. Knowing since the opposition have realized that if they go solo this time around, they will not make any success.
The PDP itself was a coalition of some small political groups that
some leaders in PDP quit to join the opposition, forming APC in 2015. And you can see they're able to pull crowd. Politics in Nigeria is money. You need money to do so many things. So if you don't have that money, you may not be able to compete. You have not got to that level where ideology sells, where the personality. Because there is no independent candidate that had been agreed yet to be in the constitution or the electoral act. So it's about the party now. It's about the candidates. It's about how granted are you? How much can you spend? That is what contesting election in Nigeria is all about. So if the opposition can come together, but the problem with them is that a lot of them were, because of they have ambition, they can't put the ego problem.
But there's also a conflict of interest. We know that Peter Obi left the same PDP we were talking about. He left the PDP to join the Labour Party because of the conflict of interest. So don't you think that also plays a role? I mean, we've not exactly we've not actively, we've not actively heard from Atiku in his interests, maybe he's in or he's out yet, but we've known his obese stance on this thing. And of course, we know that there was a power play in the PDP. He left, he came to the LP, and now people are saying, go back to the PDP or join.
Let me tell you why this, why
Yes.
why it may be taken, why it may be difficult for these guys to form an alliance. Atiku's New Nigerian People's Party, Labour Party, and then Peter Obi. Where the problem will lie is that, am I the one that will step down for you?
Does it?
Who will be the?
You've mentioned it.
Arriving at the consensus candidate, will be the problem here. Because okay, if I step down, what is my own thing? Will I be the vice? Will Peter Obi agree to be the vice of Atiku?
And also, there's the issue of if the voters will back them if the person is not the front man. Because there are people who have said that if my candidate is not going to vie for president, if he's going to be vice president, I'm not voting.
So that is part of the. I think that is that I wrote an analysis some weeks ago. I said, at the point of conceptualizing this merger, let these political actors agree on who is going to be the presidential candidate, who is going to be the vice. Because if you don't agree at the beginning, later, if you want to say, okay, let's shift that issue to 2027, there may be a disagreement which may scatter the whole arrangement. But once you can say, okay, we are putting this person as the candidate, this person will be the vice. At the beginning, agreed at the beginning of that alliance talk, then it will not be a problem going forward. But I think the major challenge they may face now, which is we're already seeing, which I think will be the problem, is who is going to step down for each other. All of them, three of them have ambition. A lot of them have ambition. They want to be the vice, want to be president. Will Peter Obi decide to step down to become the vice of Atiku? Will Atiku bury his long-term ambition to rule Nigeria? Kwankwaso, if he feels that he owns Kano, and he will not
use Kano to win.
So if he's giving you Kano, will he make me vice? So, and if Atiku is from the north, decide to go for the president, you will not want to have a vice again from the north. So these are the issues.
Yes.
Personal ambition, personal interest. These are the issues that may likely score to this alliance. And of course, don't forget that the ruling party is also working to make sure that this alliance does not work. They know that if this alliance work, that it may be the merger may pose a challenge to their ambition, to their party. So they will be working around to scatter any whatever merger the opposition are trying to form.
Now, on off-cycle elections, we know that there are several off-cycle elections scheduled for this year. Can you just walk us through them, and also tell us about the implications, political implications of this against the next general elections?
Anambra off-cycle election in November. Your question was, if you look at
what can we expect, against the general election?
It's a normal thing. Anambra, Abga is in power there. This guy Soludo, former CBN governor, is one ruling there. And Abga is on ground. Over the last 2 decades, Abga have been ruling that state. They seem to be structurally strong. Abga is a party formed by former leader of the Southeast, lead them through the civil war, Udumugu Ojukwu. And since the party was formed around, I think 203 or 207, they've been winning every election there. So everybody in Anambra see the party as their own. So it will be very difficult for any other party to defeat Soludo. Whatever angle you see it from, I've not really done badly in Anambra since he came on board in his first time. So although the APC will be their main challenger, but I see anything can happen. But I think the party as it is now, and Abga is strong on ground in Anambra, and I see them being a front runner for the election. I think for INEC, I think the onion is now on INEC, knowing what we saw in the election in Edo State and Ondo, especially Edo State, where a lot of people feel that the election was not conducted the way it should be done. That the will of the people did not prevail. There were so many manipulations, so many election observer and several international bodies.
Yes, we
who
saw
monitor
a
the
lot
election.
of
So
dots,
malpractices.
crosses, yes,
Yeah.
and the election
Yeah.
voting sheets, yes.
Yeah, so the honor is now INEC to conduct make sure that this Anambra election does not go that way on INEC.
Yes.
And making sure that this could be a preparation for 2027. The electoral body has proposed so many amendments to the electoral act ahead of 2027. So it's just the same problem that we have seen over the last few years in conducting election in Nigeria. It's the same, but even after the introduction of automation to the electoral process, IRF election result being transmitted, election result portal where we see the result as they are doing after the end of voting, a portal. This thing does not count. The result that we see on the election on the INEC election portal is different from what is being read at the end of the day. So there's still intimidation, there's still harassment, vote buying is still the order of the day.
And
so
this affects voter confidence
election,
and turnout.
yes, election results are not announced at the polling unit. It is taken to announced by INEC headquarters. This all happened in Edo State. So all these things goes a lot in affecting credibility of election in Nigeria and voters' interest in participating in the electoral process.
All eyes on Anambra then.
All eyes on Anambra.
But so it
should be all eyes on INEC.
On the INEC, yes,
it should
of
improve
course.
What we saw
the
in
elections, the electoral process itself is very, this usually sets the precedence, for what to expect. So, whatever happens now is cemented in the minds of people that, okay, this went well, it can go well next time, or this didn't go well. What is the assurance that it will go well the next time? So that's what I see from all you've said so far. So now I would ask you if you foresee any challenges, right, in this electoral process. If you foresee any challenges and your recommendations to stymie them before they come to bear.
No, I think it appears the problem that we have seen in the electoral process are what we have seen over the last since 2015. The issue of vote buying has become more prominent in elections, and people have said it's because people are not prosecuted. Those people who are found to be involved in vote buying are not prosecuted. How many people so many people were caught during the 2020 election to be buying vote and selling vote? How many of them were prosecuted? People have had let us have a different court, more of an ad hoc system to prosecute vote buying, to prosecute individuals involved in vote buying. Maybe INEC is too overburdened to conduct election and also do this.
How about the security and economic pressures?
I mean, security officials are the one even aiding these things. I don't know this, but nothing is done. INEC is aware. You see them turn blind, and you see them pretend as if they are not aware of. If on election day, whatever reforms Mahmood Yakubu and his colleagues are doing, I think for me the real problem is always, despite the fact that the electoral process is, we see with security agencies won't take over the whole process. They neutralize the process. On election day, we see sit out. They see whole sway, prevent people from voting, prevent election result from being announced, where it does not favor the ruling party's candidates and their own candidates. Despite the fact that, it appears there's always a collusion between the security agencies and this tout to make sure that the election result does not count in the areas where the candidate that does not favor them or the candidate they are not working for. And the INEC staff, the polling people working at the polling unit are often compromised. For example, there are several instances in 2023 general election where voting election started late at this particular several polling units. Okay, there was an agreement that the voting should be extended to maybe like voting supposed to stop by 2 p.m. Okay, we'll send it 1 hour. But because when they saw the way the trend of voting, it did not favor their own candidates, they make sure that they stop the voting. They did not get to that agreed time. So a lot of people are disenfranchised from voting. So these are the issues that is playing across the country. These are issues. Whoever they are employing to work as I don't know how they can do it. The problem is always people who work at the polling unit. How credible are they? Who are these people? If you say they train them, many of them would still go there and they are being influenced by a politician. So I don't know how they are going to do it. The major problem.
What would you suggest?
The major problem is always people who work at the polling unit. Is for INEC to effective monitoring. Effective monitoring is the process. Effective monitoring is the way forward. The solution will have been that election results should be transmitted to the area where people can see how much from each polling unit transmitted to the area. But we saw the judgment by the Presidential Election Tribunal. The INEC has their own has the power to introduce any mechanism to improve election.
Yes.
That is not conditionally bound. INEC transmission election is not conditionally bound. I think that actually knock up create a whole problem in the whole system, which INEC actually said now. They've introduced in the promotion some weeks ago, they brought about 142 proposition. They want to present to the National Assembly. They want National Assembly to maybe to legalize that aspect. Election result should be transmitted. Should be legal. If it's not transmitted, the cancel result. Cancel that result. So there's so much that needs to be done to sanitize our electoral system. There are so many loopholes that were identified by stakeholders after the 2020 election. The issue of diaspora voting. These are issues that INEC said some weeks ago that they want to see if they can get National Assembly approval for that.
Yeah, it was presented before.
These are the issues. Some African countries they have diaspora voting. Why can't people? We have so many Nigerians are in diaspora. Why can't we have them vote on election day? So, you asked for way forward. Some weeks ago, some months ago, I wrote an analysis. I said the whole process starts from the appointment of INEC chairman.
Coming to that, let me just even ask about it now. The chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, his tenure is coming to an end as the INEC chairman, and his tenure has both been praised and criticized. So, two questions here: how would you assess his leadership, and who are his possible successors?
I can't say. I can't speak on his successor. Is the president that is to appoint him. I can only say suggestions. I wrote an analysis on VIX. I said, let's hold the example of country like South Africa. Appointment of the INEC chairman should be taken away from the presidency. We should advertise that position. Even the Yaga Africa, some weeks ago, after the election, they suggested that also. The INEC chairman should not be appointed by the president. Because when you do that, you can influence who come in and all. And this is the first stage towards guaranteeing sanity in our electoral process. Advertise that position. Let credible people apply. Maybe the National Assembly or the National NJC can now say, okay, people are asking me who is going to be the one that will screen them, who is going to advertise them. I mean, who's going to interview them. Let the NJC or the National Assembly screen these people, a committee set up, screen these people, and maybe a candidate can emerge from that process. You can select the best candidate. But when you through this, I do not think when you say the president should be the one that should appoint INEC chairman, and I don't agree with that. Because we have seen the trend over the last few years. Because if you appoint, you tend to work my own interest. Going forward, I think that is the first thing we need to do to guarantee sanity. To give credibility to that body, so they can begin to work for Nigerian interest.
Now that he's leaving.
He has done so many reforms. To answer your question, he has come up with so many reforms. In 2019 election, we had 99 political parties. He has streamlined them to about 18. Automation have been introduced in the electoral process. Voters registration, double voting can now be checked. Beavers, Ivers, I will see them. He has proposed about 142 amendment again into electoral act against 2027. He has done fairly well, but a lot of people will still say that it has not improved the quality of elections we have. These reforms he has done has not improved the quality of elections. Elections are still being politicians always have a way of beating INEC. Yeah. If INEC come this way, politicians will have a way of beating them to to their strategy.
Yes.
And making sure that election go their own way. So I don't buy to any reform that does not bring about improvement in the electoral process. And I think all around, when we think we have actually made some success, you see the next election will be worse than what we've had. So we now begin to wonder, are we making progress? Look at what happened in Kogi.
So these shoes are huge to fill, quite obviously. Who could fill them?
I think the stakeholders are I think there have been questions if they are really ready to sanitize the system, because it benefits them. All this benefit them. So they know that credible elections will not, if you conduct a free and fair election, it will not, if you're not doing well, if you have not done well, if you have not given good governance, if you have not, if you are not capable, if people know you to be fraudulent, they will not vote for you. So maybe they will not be desirous to sanitize the system to guarantee a free and fair election. And I want to question the enthusiasm of our leaders to sanitize INEC, to free INEC to conduct election in the will of Nigerians and for the people. So as for now, I'm still not convinced enough that key political actors, especially those in the ruling party, are ready to free INEC to conduct the free and fair election.
So I think we have so very little time, but finally, how can citizens better actively contribute or play their part in ensuring the transparency, or hold the electoral process generally makes it more free, more fair, and also more inclusive? Because there's a lot of voter apathy, there's a lot of there's a drop in voter confidence.
Yeah.
But so how can we as citizens better ensure this accountability and transparency even from the electoral body?
I think voter apathy because of the people who are not confident that their vote will count. Look at what happened in 2020 election. There was so much enthusiasm among the young people to vote because of the promise INEC gave them that their vote will count, results will be transmitted real time. But at the end of the day, what did you see? A lot of people feel that it was not what they expected. The election did not live up to standard what they want to be. So people tend to feel that why will I waste my time and vote if my vote will not count? I think as citizens we have that responsibility that basic responsibility to vote. Because if you don't vote, if you don't come out to election day to vote, actually giving way for politicians to do all sorts of things. But if people come out to vote, look at what happened in the election in Lagos State. People come out to vote and it becomes overwhelming. It will be difficult for anybody to manipulate the system. So as citizens, we should also hold them accountable. It is not enough after voting, you go to your house, stay at the polling unit to see what is going on, to count the votes. After they electing them in the public office,
That's right.
Always hold them accountable. I think because of the poverty rate society now, people are poor and a lot of people are uninformed. People just feel that are tired. They generally feel that the governance does not really, they are not concerned. They don't feel bothered. They are only bothered about survival. Let me survive. I don't care. They feel that the government at the center do not care about them, or they feel that the resources are not being used judiciously that will affect them. So they tend to, I don't care about whatever they are doing on there. But it is wrong. If we let people there, let's hold them accountable. Let's try as much as possible to send message to them that what you are doing is not good. This is what we elect you to do. I mean,
Indeed. Interesting. Very interesting.
I think going forward, in 2025, people are concerned about the inflation rate. People want the government, even the president acknowledged in the New Year message, that's going to fight inflation, but at the 4.6% now. So people want the cost of living is the problem. The cost of a lot of people complain that they use most of their salary for food, transportation. are the two things that take people's salary. So people want the president to, in this new year, to fight inflation. Cost of living is high because of the reforms of the president, removal of subsidy that have affected virtually everything. So people want the president to, they want to see the president know what they are going through. The president can, through his actions and through his words, can act, initiate programs that will alleviate poverty, bring down the cost of food, transportation. I mean, generally programs that will alleviate their suffering. That is what Nigerians don't want much. They just want to eat. They just want to move around freely. But the president said that his people said they are fighting corruption. They are fighting, poverty by sharing money, sharing 10 kg bag of rice. It's not the way forward. If you want to fight poverty, you initiate a system where people can get soft loan to start SMEs, support existing companies, support existing SMEs, empower young people. The power is a major problem in Nigeria. Even small SMEs like Baba, they are their own generator for 24 hours. If people cannot even afford to buy fuel now. So it's a holistic problem. If you are tackling it at the top, you should also make sure that you go down to see if these reforms are working at the grassroots. Whatever you are doing at the top, if people can't eat 3 square meal a day, I think is you have not really done anything.
Oh, indeed, those are the expectations and the. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Mr. Inyobong, for joining us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your valuable insights. And unfortunately, that's all we can take on this segment, on the Big Story segment. I am Bethel Ulujobi. Thank you for watching.